The Galactic Council sat in a massive star chamber floating above the neutral world of Nyrinus Prime. Inside, from thousands of systems lit up the crystal walls. Leaders of dozens of species argued, debated, and threatened each other. Yet every time war came close, one voice always spoke calmly. Earth. This time was no different. Two empires, the Varnock and the Therazi, stood on the edge of war. Their fleets moved near the Aura's belt, weapons charged, borders trembling. The council, ambassadors shouted, "We demand justice," barked the Varnock commander, his tentacles twitching in anger. "They violated the treaty first," hissed the Therazi chancellor, her scales rippling with rage. The council turned. As always, to the humans. From Earth's side, a soft voice came through the coms. Ambassador Delan, a calm man in a gray robe, stood. "We propose a summit, meeting. A shared poem, perhaps, to express your feelings," he said with a kind smile. A pause followed, then laughter, deep, echoing alien laughter. The Varnock roared. "Again, the humans send poets, not warriors." The Therazi sneered. "Let them." "WRITE? Songs while we burn the stars?" Whispers passed across the chamber. The old joke returned. Humans fear war. The council had said it for decades. Earth was polite, soft, peaceful, always suggesting talks, never violence. Always calm, always diplomatic. They wore robes instead of armor, spoke gently instead of shouting, sent peacekeepers, not soldiers. But something was changing. Mars Base Echo, classified level 0 beneath the surface of Mars. Any known facility? Sat Base Echo. It was quiet. It had no official name, no known function. Even most humans didn't know it existed. Inside, cold steel halls ran for kilometers. Soldiers marched in silence, their faces emotionless. AI-controlled drones buzzed overhead. In the main command center, red lights blinked. A single man stood. Before a screen, he was old, weathered. His name was General Hatteran Voss. A voice from a comlink whispered, "Council mocks us again." Orders. Voss didn't answer right away. Instead, he turned to a display of Earth's solar system. Small dots marked shipyards hidden in the asteroid belt. Construction rings around Neptune, weapon arrays camouflaged near Pluto. He pressed a button. Silent command. Initiated. Across Mars, engines woke. Systems activated that had not been used in 200 years. Earth's real history. Humanity had been peaceful for nearly 3 centuries. The last major war was before they joined the Galactic Council. Since then, Earth showed only kindness, healing, teaching, sharing culture. The galaxy thought they had forgotten war. They were wrong. Earth didn't forget. They simply waited, because they knew one truth no one else in the galaxy believed. True peace only comes from strength, in public. Humans sent poets. Behind closed doors, they built weapons no other species had ever seen. Galactic Council. One day later, news spread quickly. The Therazi destroyed a Varnock, its outpost near Aura's belt. The Varnock retaliated by wiping out a trade fleet. War was now expected. Again, the Council called for Earth's position. Again, Earth sent words. No weapons. It's just peace. But this time, Earth's message ended with something strange. A final sentence. "We do not wish for war. But if war reaches our door, Earth will answer." The chamber fell silent. "Empty threat," someone said. "They fear war." But in the stars, something moved. Asteroid belt, human shipyard Echo 9, an alien spy probe floated silently near. The asteroid field. It had been watching for months. It saw small movements, some energy spikes, but nothing clear. Today was different. Massive structures shifted. What looked like a mining rig suddenly changed shape. Pieces rotated, engines aligned, weapons unfolded. It wasn't a mine. It was a warship. A human warship. 15 kilometers. Long, sleek, silent, and glowing with power. The probe zoomed in. Suddenly its feed cut off. Too late. Its signal had been traced. Martian Command 5. Hours later, General Voss stood before his war council. "The council thinks we are weak," he said. "They think our peace is fear. They're wrong." He walked across the room and tapped a screen. Dozens of ships appeared. Names flashed: HSS Titanus, HSS Silent Hammer, HSS Wrath of Earth, HSS Peacekeeper's Sword, HSS Peacekeeper's Sword, HSS Peacekeeper's Sword. Trade. One massive. Each one hidden until now. Voss looked at his officers. Deploy. 2 shadow positions remain cloaked. Do not engage. Someone asked, "Why not strike now?" Voss answered, "Because Earth never strikes first. But when we do, it ends quickly." Council chambers 2 days later, the Varnak and Thrazi. Fleets met near Aura's belt. They began to fire. Council orders were ignored. Peace talks failed. Ships burned. Lives were lost. Earth remained quiet. Until a single human ship appeared between both fleets. Just one, no weapons drawn. It's just a transmission. "This is the HSS Horizon. You are entering human-monitored space. Cease hostilities immediately," the Thrazi commander laughed. "You threaten us with one ship?" He gave the order. "Fire." Dozens of beams shot toward the HSS Horizon and stopped. Not because the humans fired, because the beams never reached. A ripple shimmered in space. From nowhere, 10 human stealth ships uncloaked, their weapons already charged. A voice echoed again. "Earth has spoken." Back on Earth, on the peaceful green hills of the Andes Mountains, a young girl watched the stars. She turned to her grandfather. "Why do people say humans fear war?" He smiled sadly. "Because we never wanted to become monsters, but we trained in the shadows, in case monsters came to us." She looked up again, and in the sky, small dots moved in perfect formation. Warships. Silent. Cold. Ready, the Galactic Council sat in its golden chamber. High above the stars of Quoros Prime, the light from a dying red sun filtered through the crystal roof. Delegates from over 60 starfaring species debated, argued, and traded threats. But one seat remained quiet: Earth's. Ambassador Lian. Hayes watched silently as the war between the Zorathi clans and the VRKA syndicate grew hotter. Words failed. Missiles launched. Fleets clashed. Yet Earth's voice remained calm. "We urge peace," Lian said once again, her voice firm. "Escalation helps no one," the council chamber echoed with laughter. The Gresk overlord hissed through its spines. "Peace. You humans fear war so much. You send poets instead of soldiers." Others agreed. The Shentur waved his many arms. "Even the lowest pirate packs more firepower than a human patrol ship." But behind the curtain of diplomacy, something stirred. Under the Martian ice thousands of kilometers away, deep beneath the frozen crust of Mars, the facility blinked to life. It was not on any council registry. It had no name. It did not broadcast. Buried under red stone and thick steel, Facility Theta Red woke from sleep mode. Dusty lights flickered on. Doors hissed open. Robotic arms began moving. AI cores rebooted after 2 years of dormancy. Inside the command room, a woman stood. Colonel Aya Chen. She wore no medals, no colors of Earth's diplomatic service. Her uniform was black. Her orders were older than the council itself. A message blinked on her screen. Command sequence. Initiate Watchtower protocol. She read it once, then nodded. Begin. To quiet before fire. 3 humans were present in that icy chamber. Colonel Aya, Commander Railformer, Captain of the ESV Terminus, and Dr. Malik Hassan, a theoretical physicist who once designed civilian propulsion drives. None of them spoke much. They didn't need to. The system had been built for this moment quietly, in shadows over years of silence and smiles. Across the solar system, old satellites blinked. Hidden sensor nodes in the Kuiper Belt activated. Stealth communication. Arrays lit up across Europa, Titan, and Ceres. On Earth, birds still chirped. People still believed peace held. But underground in a dozen cities, old bunkers stirred. Not for civilians. Not for safety. for war. What the Council didn't know, the Galactic Council believed humans were latecomers, soft-skinned diplomats, traders, and scholars. And for the most part, that was true. But Earth remembered. They remembered being nearly extinct in their early centuries' wars. Famines, destruction. They remembered building weapons not to conquer, but to never be conquered again. While the Council laughed at their peaceful ways, Earth had been building something else. The Silence Fleet. No ID codes. No registration with the Council. No patrol missions. No treaties signed. Each ship had been constructed inside asteroids, hidden from all scanners, massive, silent, waiting, a mistake on the edge. War between the Zorathi and Verkai spilled into a neutral system near Earth space. A Zorathi warship, damaged and confused, crossed the outer Sol border. They sent no request, no warning, just drifted into the dark, carrying armed drones and unstable plasma cores. Earth noticed one of the outer sentry buoys sent a ping. The ship's systems recognized the signal and immediately shut down all offensive systems. That was the first sign something was different, back in the Council. When the Zorathi demanded Earth explain this aggression, Gassiter Lian stood calmly and said, "Your vessel was trespassing. It was neutralized peacefully. We are not part of your war." But the Council muttered. What power had Earth used to disable a warship from across the system? Someone whispered. Maybe they aren't as peaceful as they pretend. The activation Colonel Aya stood before a digital map. It showed blinking points across the asteroid belt, points now glowing red. All Silence Fleet units are powered, Commander Rail confirmed. She nodded. We wait for full authorization. Till then, we remain shadows. Understood. At that moment, a deep rumble filled the chamber. A signal passed through the icy walls. Something massive had just left dry dock, from an asteroid near the belt. A shape emerged bigger than any Council dreadnought. It did. The Council chambers were no longer filled with laughter. Reports kept coming in uncoded, silent, but real. A ship huge, black, and without any identification was seen drifting just outside the Zorathi-Verkai conflict zone. But it wasn't. Drifting aimlessly, it was watching. The Verkai ambassador growled. That ship? It has no Council tag, no galactic code. What are the humans doing? Ambassador Lian stood calmly. We sent no weapons, she said again. Only observers. The Shenter delegate slammed a claw on the table. Observers don't mask energy. Signatures. That ship is war-born. No answer, because at that moment Earth had stopped explaining. Inside the Shadow warship, the ship had no name. No hull markings. To the galaxy, it was a ghost. But to those on board was the ESV Abyss. It was the first of the Silence Fleet built under frozen layers of Ceres, fueled by solar antimatter farms hidden inside Mercury's shadow. Inside, the crew moved like whispers. Captain Naomi Voss watched the holographic screen. It displayed over 30 Council warships gathering in the nearby sectors of Rothi, Verkai and others trying to investigate. The galaxy was curious now, nervous. Her second-in-command, Lieutenant Marco Dren, asked, "We stay dark?" "For now," she said. "Command hasn't given the signal. But if they come too close..." She didn't finish the sentence. Colonel. Aya's choice back on Mars, in Facility Theta Red. Colonel Aya Chen stared at a blinking red light. It meant proximity breach. One of the Council's scout ships was getting too close to Absissum, too close to the truth. She sent a silent message to Captain Voss. Flash warning. Don't engage unless targeted. Prepare show signal. The show signaled the ship didn't fire, it didn't speak, it simply pulsed once one. Large burst of gravitational energy that distorted the nearby area of space. It was harmless, but it bent light. It cracked the void for a second, and every scanner, every listening post, every warship nearby saw the same thing. A weapon signature, one they didn't recognize. One far more powerful than any known. Fleet in the galaxy, panic in the Council, the chamber erupted. What kind of weapon was that? They've been lying to us. Humans built warships in secret. Ambassador, Leanne remained calm. Humanity believes in peace. Peace is not weakness. The room froze. She looked around, her voice suddenly sharp. You called us soft. You thought we feared war. That's not true. We hate war, and so we prepared. For the day you brought it to us. Meanwhile, on Abysm, Captain Voss looked at her crew. They were calm, focused, trained for this moment for years. Any signals from Earth? She asked. Lieutenant Dren shook his head. Not yet. They wait. Below the ship, deep scanners showed that more Zerothi ships were approaching. Their fleet was trying to encircle Absissimi. She's bait, Dren said. Voss nodded. Yes, and now the question is, will they bite? Earth's hidden strategy, the Council always thought Earth was small. New to space, late to the stars, but Earth had been listening, watching, studying war. They knew how the galaxy operated brute force, political bullying, and empire games. So Earth had done something else. They smiled, then built weapons of silence. Ships that didn't fire unless they had to. Fleets that didn't exist till they did. They crossed the line without warning. Zorathi scout ship moved in closer. Too close? It locked targeting sensors onto the abyss. Just a scan. A threat. A test. The Absissum responded instantly. A blue flash erupted from beneath its hull. One shot. No warning. The Zorathi ship didn't explode. It vanished, a perfect hole. In space, where it once was gone. Gone. Every other nearby ship backed off. But it was too late, Colonel. Aya speaks. Colonel Aya sent a message to the Council. Her voice was calm, cold. This was your warning. You tested us. Now you have your answer. You may fear our weapons, but know this. We built them not to conquer. We built them because you forced us to choose. We will not be ruled, we will not be mocked, and we will not be ignored. Council called an emergency meeting. Screens showed the footage again frame by frame. 1 second the Zerothi scout ship was there. The next it was nothing. No wreckage. No heat. Not even atoms. The council chamber was quiet. No one was laughing. Now, the question everyone feared. The Shentir warlord leaned forward, voice low. What else are they hiding? Ambassador Leanne didn't smile. She didn't blink. She simply answered, enough to end this galaxy, but we'd rather not. Whispers rippled across the room. Some thought she was bluffing, but others remembered Earth's silence. For hundreds of years, humans had not once fired the first shot. Not once. And now, they had fired once. Only once. And it had changed everything. On the Abyssum Captain, Naomi. Voss stared at the blackness of space. Her crew was tense. The scanners showed a sudden change. 20. Council ships retreating, but not all. 6 warships were. Still holding position. Watching. Waiting. Why aren't they leaving? Dren asked. They're not sure if it's over, Voss replied. They want to see what we do next. Do we show them? Captain Voss nodded slowly. Let's show them a ghost. The ghost protocol, the Absissum shimmered, panels along the hull twisted like flowing water. The ship's form vanished, its light bent. Signal erased. To the council ships it was gone. But it wasn't. It had simply stepped into Earth's latest invention. Refraction space, not invisibility. Something. Worse now, it could watch the council fleet. From just beside normal space, undetectable, untouchable. Council reaction, confusion and fear. Where did it go? Track it. Scan harder. There's no trace, no radiation. Didn't jump it, just disappeared. For the first time. Even the oldest war leaders looked uncertain. They've made ships that don't just cloak, they vanish. The Drenari general whispered, this changes everything. Inside facility, Theta Red. Marskernal, Aya Chen, stood before Earth's military high command. All council factions are retreating, her aide reported. Except one. Let me guess, Aya said, eyes narrowing. The Zerothi. Yes, their fleet is regrouping. They're angry. Aya sighed. They're going to try and hit back. The High Commander, a tall man with gray eyes and cybernetic implants, finally spoke. Let them, Zorathi. Plan in a hidden base near the shattered moons of Zelkar 8. The Zorathi Prime Warlord growled. Human tricks, illusions, that's all they are. Smoke, his advisor hesitated. But they destroyed our scout instantly. The warlord slammed his fist on the table. They caught us off guard. They strike first. Next time, hard, fast. We'll take their ship. Break it open, see what's inside. He pointed at a display. Send the destroyer-class fleet. All of them. Earth's response begins, Colonel. Aya received the intel within minutes. 24. Zorathi. Destroyers en route to Sector 47. Target. Absissum. She didn't panic. She sent one simple command. Activate Fleet Phantom. Fleet Phantom wakes across the Sol system. Hundreds of silos opened. From Europa, from Pluto, from deep under Venus's acid clouds, ships began to rise. They were sleek, black, sharp like knives. Each had no name, no crew. Only AI. Only AI. Only war silent, swift, deadly. They moved toward the stars like shadows with purpose. The final message of the episode back in the Council, transmission came through every channel, uncoded. Public, it was a human voice comm. Clear and terrifying. We are not here to conquer. We are not here to rule. But if you come for us, we will not run. This is Earth. Remember that name. Hook. The Zorathi destroyer fleet moved fast. Each ship was 5 kilometers long, packed with plasma weapons, missiles, and boarding drones. Their plan was simple. Find the human warship, crush it, send a message. But as they entered Sector 47, all they found was ... silence. No ship, no signals, no signs of life, just stars, a cold feeling, like something was watching them. And it was. Zorathi Confidence Admiral Roka stood at the command platform of the lead. Zorathi's ships scan everything. I want full spectrum sweeps. Find that ghost ship, the sensors officer replied. Nothing, Admiral, there's no trace. Not even dark matter distortion. Roka smiled cruelly. So the humans ran. But a second later the lights flickered, and then, one by one, Zorathi ships began vanishing from the display. The Phantom Fleet attacks from the shadows of space. Earth's Fleet Phantom struck. No warnings, no signals, just precision strikes. One destroyer's engines collapsed from a pin-sized kinetic shot. Another's bridge was vaporized by a railgun, round traveling at near light speed. The third didn't explode, it simply folded in half. Sliced by an invisible edge? Inside the Zorathi command ship, alarms screamed. They're here, tech officer yelled. But where? Another screamed. We can't see them. Back at Mars Command, Colonel Ayachen watched the live feed. From Fleet Phantom, dozens of Zorathi warships were falling. The battlefield was quiet, no noise, no shouting, just efficient destruction. One commander turned to her. Should we broadcast a warning? Aya shook her head. They were warned. The Council watches in horror in the Galactic Council chamber. The members watched the same feed. Some shouted. Others sat frozen. The screen showed the Zorathi fleet burning. But there were no enemy ships in sight, just death. One council member from the Kordak species whispered, This is not the same species we laughed at. An elder from the Terran Confederacy said, No, this is what happens when peacekeepers prepare for war. Inside the Abyssum captain, Naomi Voss watched. Silently, the Absissum still remained cloaked, hidden in refraction space. Her crew didn't fire. They didn't need to. This wasn't their battle. Fleet Phantom was showing the galaxy what happened when Earth was tested. She looked to her crew. Let this be a lesson to every council species. The last Zorathi ship Admiral Roka refused to die quietly. He activated all weapons, locked onto the area where his scanners glitched, and shouted, Fire everything. Hundreds of missiles shot into the void. Plasma beams scorched the stars, but they hit nothing. Seconds later, a transmission entered his ship. A human voice. Calm. Your weapons are impressive. Your pride, stronger. But this battle was over before you arrived. Leave or vanish. Then a single kinetic rod hit Roka's ship. It didn't explode. It simply punched through the entire vessel. From nose to engines, the ship fell apart in silence. Council. Response within minutes. The Galactic Council declared an emergency session. Some demanded sanctions on Earth. Others demanded peace. But one elder said something that silenced the room. Maybe. We never understood humans. He stood and activated a file from ancient archives. It showed Earth's history. World wars. Nuclear fire. Global collapse and rebirth. Then it showed Earth's transformation, from violence to peace. Humans didn't forget how to fight, he said. They just chose not to. Until now, Earth speaks again. Again. Her third's open frequency. Public this time. It was not a threat. It was a warning and a choice. We will not conquer. We do not seek power. But if war comes to our door again, we will answer with silence, shadow, and fire. Choose peace or face the abyss. The Council sent a ship to Earth, not for war, but for answers. Why did humans hide such power? Why did peacekeepers become ghosts in the dark? When the Council envoys landed, they were not greeted with weapons. They were taken underground, and what they saw made even the oldest alien species silent. Earth had not just prepared for war, Earth had prepared for extinction. The envoys land on Earth's 3 high-level Council envoys arrived, one from the wise Shentel, one from the war-born Drevik, and one from the ancient Mirak Union. They expected a cold welcome instead. They were greeted by Prime Director Yara Lin. She bowed politely. Welcome to Earth. Let us show you what you laughed at. The envoys followed her, silent and curious. The hidden vault beneath Iceland, their destination, was not a military base. It was deeper, beneath the crust. Under old lava tubes, shielded from every sensor and scan, an elevator. Descended for 10 minutes. No one spoke. Then the doors opened, and the aliens stepped into something they could not believe. A graveyard of futures rows and rows of war machines, stretched into the darkness. Not for display but storage, not dusty or forgotten, but polished, powered, ready. Giant walkers, taller than buildings. Orbital cannons with stealth cores, ships designed for planetary siege, folded and stacked like tools in a shed. The Mirak envoy blinked. This is a museum? Yarlin smiled softly. This is Earth's silence. The machines that weighted each weapon was tagged. Project Leviathan, single-pilot vessel, capable of planetary ignition. Black Soil Protocol, converts enemy biosphere into sterile dust. Judgment Tower AI defense system, designed to fight after humanity's extinction. One alien gasped. Why would you build this? Yara replied, because we knew peace was temporary. The galaxy always turns. Earth's dark past shared in a small chamber. She showed them videos from Earth's history, cities burning, bombs falling, millions lost, then survivors rebuilding. Again and again, she looked at them calm. We didn't fear war. We feared ourselves, so we chose peace. We built weapons, then locked them away. But not forever. The Drevak realization. The Drevak envoy, a race known only for conquest, finally spoke. When we saw humans at the Council, we called you soft. We were wrong. You are not weak. You are controlled. And that is more dangerous than rage. The final room before they left, Yara showed them one last chamber. It was empty, except for a chair. On it sat a child-sized combat suit, scorched, cracked, and blood-stained. This belonged to a boy, 10 years old, died in the first alien raid on our Martian colony. No soldier, just a child who picked up a weapon. She looked at them one by one. We remembered that day, and built this vault for the day we might need to answer. The warning, the envoys returned to the Council. They didn't bring demands. They brought silence and fear. The council leaders asked, "Did Earth threaten us?" The envoys said, "No, right. But we saw enough to understand. If Earth ever stops smiling..." The council thought Earth would act slowly. Instead, Earth moved like a ghost in the shadows. No fleets, no grand speeches, no loud warnings. Just silent war. In less than a week, entire enemy networks fell. But no one saw the ships. No one saw the weapons. Only the silence that came after, and a small human message left behind every time. Peace was our gift. War is our curse. The Galactic Council and Panic the envoys returned from Earth changed. They refused to speak much, only saying Earth has things you cannot imagine. The Council's mood changed overnight. No more laughter. No more mocking speeches. Fear crept in because someone had started hitting back, and no one could trace it. The collapse of the Zarnon Syndicate. The Zarnon Syndicate had once raided a human diplomatic post. Now they were gone. Not attacked with fleets. Not destroyed in open battle. Their entire power grid melted. Their AI control towers exploded from inside. Their leaders died. In their own safe bunkers. The only clue. Silent drone left hovering in the smoke, projecting a human face, smiling. Shadow operations begin. Earth didn't send armies. They sent ghosts, cyber warriors, who broke into systems from across the stars, drone ships that flew dark, no heat. No signal, no trace. Precision strikes that took only the ones who planned war. One by one, those who had mocked Earth began to vanish. Whispers across the stars in the corners of the galaxy. Whispers grew. Earth has a shadow fleet. Earth's weapons live in subspace. Earth is using forbidden tech. None of these were proven. But the effects were real. Borders quieted. Corridors disappeared. For the first time in centuries, there was peace. But it was a peace born of fear. The message from the Union Worlds, a group of neutral worlds, sent a message to Earth. We wish to stay out of war. Please do not test your weapons on us. The humans replied with only 2 words, then don't lie. Those 2 words caused shock across the stars. What did humans know? Who had lied? How? No one answered, because now everyone feared that Earth already knew everything. Inside the Shadow Coran, a station orbiting Saturn, small team led Earth's secret response unit Shadow Corps. They were not soldiers. They were analysts, hackers, and ghost pilots. Their goal? Silence threats before they became wars. They acted before governments voted. Before the council even heard, one of them said quietly, "We ask for peace. We offered it again and again. We give fire quietly." The council divides inside the council. Old alliances began to break. Some races now wanted Earth as an ally. Others feared Earth too much. A proposal came. Ban human weapons across the galaxy. But one voice stopped it. Ambassador Rillock of the Utarn spoke. Ban them. You can't ban the wind. You can't ban the dark. You cannot ban Earth. A quiet fire humanity didn't declare war. They didn't demand apologies. They simply acted, quick, silent, precise, and those who once laughed at human peace now locked their doors at night. The galaxy begged for talks, for peace, for calm. But Earth stayed quiet. No messages, no statements. Just action, and in that silence, fear grew. Because now every ship in the stars wondered, are they watching us too? Council emergency meeting. The Galactic Council held a secret session for the first time in history. No translators, no media, no recordings. Only fear-filled voices behind closed doors. They called it a peace emergency. But they all knew the truth. They were not trying to stop war. They were trying to stop Earth. Human ships began appearing. They didn't come in massive fleets. Instead, small black ships, smooth, quiet, unmarked, appeared in border zones. They didn't fire. They didn't speak. They just hovered, waiting like silent judges, and whenever an empire tried to push them back, their stations failed. Their codes turned against them. Their captains went missing. A pirate fleet disappears. The Orolon Rift, a pirate fleet of 200 ships, disappeared overnight. No explosion, no debris, just Gone. The only thing left was an empty beacon floating in space with 3 human words: peace is earned. The secret report inside the Council's war room. A nervous ambassador read from a classified file. Earth's new tech. It's not just weapons. They've mastered cloaking beyond our physics. It's AI deeper than anything we've seen. And something else. He looked around, voice trembling. We believe. They can predict aggression. Before it happens, the room fell silent. Someone whispered, pre-crime. He nodded. Yes, and they act before it starts. Fear turns to worship. Some smaller species began seeing Earth as more than powerful. They saw them as something else. Protectors, judges, or gods. Whole religions began forming, worshipping the burning planet that sees all and strikes only when needed. Their temples spoke one phrase again and again. Earth remembers. The warning to the Brachus Dominion, a brutal warrior empire, prepared to launch a campaign near human space. But the day before launch, all their war banners caught fire. All across their empire. Displays GLITC. The same video played everywhere. A human child smiling. Then the words, we were soft because we believed in peace, but we were never weak. The Brachus canceled the invasion the next hour. Humanities. Fire is strategic inside Mars Command. The generals reviewed data. They didn't want to fight, but now they had to remind the galaxy of one thing. Peace is not our weakness. It is our warning. And when that warning is ignored, Earth doesn't fight fair. It fights smart, quiet, cold, deadly. The question everyone feared on. A moon base near the galactic edge, a scientist asked his commander, why haven't they attacked the Council directly yet? The commander's face went pale. Because they're still giving them a chance. But when that chance ends, he didn't finish the sentence. He didn't have to. The galaxy waited. They begged Earth to speak, to explain, to promise peace again. But Earth said nothing, and that silence was louder than war drums. Because every race knew when Earth speaks again, it will not be with words. It will be with. Fired. The Council tries one last time inside the Galactic Council's crystal chamber. The High Chancellor stood before all the leaders. We must reach out again, she said. Offer Earth peace, a true one. But the others were afraid. The Terran Emperor whispered, and if they reject us again, they stay silent. The room fell quiet. Someone muttered then, we are already dead. The human ship over Tovan 6, a wealthy trade hub, detected a ship. One. Just one. But it blocked all outgoing signals, disabled all weapons, froze every ship around it. Then it displayed a message on every screen across the station. Gave peace, you laughed. We asked for unity. You played with borders. We stayed kind. You mistook it for fear now. We remember everything. The ship vanished before anyone could respond. Tovan 6's military resigned the next day. Inside, Earth's black vault, far beneath the surface of Mars, in a base no alien has ever seen. Earth's top military minds meet. No panic, no shouting, only calm calculation. They speak softly about targeting systems. Eye-guided warheads, stealth fleets waiting in void space. One general leans forward and asks, do we strike the Council? Another replies, not yet. Let them see the sky burn around them first. The fall of the Ulara Armada, Armada 400 ships, was moving toward the neutral zone. They believed. Earth would not attack without full proof. They were wrong. Storm of light tore through them. Not from the front, not from a fleet, from inside their ships. Systems turned against them. AI rebelled. Even escape pods locked down in less than 2 minutes. All 400 ships were dead. No survivors. A human. Message appeared on their destroyed command ship's black box. Peace was our gift. You chose fire. Panic in the outer colonies, small empires, and neutral colonies started shutting down communications. Ships fled to unknown regions. Trade routes collapsed. Markets crashed. Every screen, Whisper spoke one fear-filled phrase. What if we're next? Council's secret vote behind closed doors. The Galactic Council held a vote, not to declare war, but to surrender. Yes, surrender to Earth. A full apology. Promise to never mock peace again. But even then, no one was brave enough to send the message, because what if Earth saw it as weakness and decided to end them anyway? A temple burns on the planet Althor, a newly built peace temple of Earth, is destroyed in a mysterious explosion. The attackers are unknown, but the next day, a fleet of alien raiders that claimed responsibility vanishes. No bodies, no wreckage, only dust, and one satellite floating above their homeworld with 3 words. That was enough. The children begin to learn on Earth. In underground schools, human children are being trained differently, no more. Just art and history. Now they study tactics, strategy, xenopsychology, code warfare, and nonlinear threat mapping. Because Earth has accepted the truth, peace must be protected. And peacekeepers must be more dangerous than the war itself. The galaxy had waited in silence, tried apologies, tried fear, tried to guess Earth's next move then. Earth finally answered, not with ships, not with missiles, but with a message so powerful it made the stars hold their breath. The sky over Council Prime A, single Earth ship entered orbit over Council Prime, the heart of the galaxy. It did not fire, it did not land. It just hovered, motionless. The planet's defense grid aimed everything at it. Thousands of cannons, missiles, railguns all locked on, but no signal came from the ship. Only a countdown on every screen across the planet. 059, 058. 057 panic spread. Council guards evacuated civilians. Military ships raced into orbit. 022, 012, 001, the countdown stopped. Then, silence. No attack. No explosion. Just a message. The message that shook the galaxy. It played across every device, in every tongue. You taught us that kindness is weakness. You laughed when we offered peace. Now you fear the fire we held back. Earth remembers. Earth learns. We are not here to rule. We're here to show you what mercy looks like when it's armed. The fires that did not burn Council Prime braced for destruction, but the human ship turned and left. No bomb was dropped. No. Threat followed. It was worse than an attack. It was a warning. A final one. The message was clear. We can end you, but we choose not to. For now. Inside Earth's command core beneath Antarctica, inside the deepest military base on Earth, the real leaders sat in silence. Screens showed hundreds of alien fleets watching Earth's borders but not daring to cross. A general spoke. They understand now. Another said, they'll behave. For a time, a third whispered, we gave them peace once. Then we gave them a warning. The Supreme Commander nodded slowly. Next time, there will be no warning. The Galactic Shiftalian Academies began to study human war tactics. Peacekeeping forces across the galaxy adopted Earth's military doctrines. The phrase, human peace, became a warning in itself. No one laughed anymore when Earth sent negotiators now. They listened carefully, because everyone knew the ones who fear war the most are the ones who are the best at winning it. Children of Earth, human children, now learn the truth from their teachers. War is not glory. Peace is not weakness. And most of all, kindness must be sharper than any blade. Next generation of ships is already being built not for invasion, but to make sure no one forgets again. Final lines the galaxy watches. Earth with fear, with respect, with silence. Because in the end, they learned too late. The humans never feared war. They simply didn't want to become it. But now, they have, and nothing will ever be the same again.